about bankrolling from being broke this week. I'm going to tell you like the real life example of what I went through in early 2013 that's got me to where I am today. How about that? Anyway, so babe, before we get started, make sure you head over to breakfreeacademy.com/entourage and become involved with our mastermind. We've got people back there that are doing 9 figures a year in production. Seriously, we've got real estate agents, mortgage brokers, insurance agents, coaches, consultants, regular salespeople from retail perspective. We've got oil and gas people. We've got supplemental insurance. We've got B2B, ATM, with all sorts of stuff going on back there. So make sure that we even have this one dude who slings dildos, my man Paul. I'm just saying, like, we got a little bit of everything going on in the Break Free Academy entourage, and it's a mastermind of people who are making 6 figures or more a year, many of them millionaires, and we have one of the strongest, most diverse networks there is. So come be a part of something bigger than yourself. Come learn from the people that are making things happen, that are making massive amounts of money, and join us at breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. So I'm going to tell you a story today. There's no fancy stick figures this week. And I know you're totally disappointed because what's his name? Bob Ross, right? Like Bob Ross is like, it's just birds. Just birds. So like Bob Ross, I know you were disappointed in my Bob Ross-like skills being missing this week, but we're going to talk about how I turned $100 a day into $125,000 a week. And I know that's a serious claim. It's not like I did it overnight. I started this in 2013, but I want to tell you the story in this journey. So in 2013, my man Kevin Nations hit me up and he says, Ryan, for $25,000, I'll help you grow your business. And I believe that how you sell is how you buy. And so if I was to give him some resistance, knowing that he could truly help my business, if I was to give him some resistance, then I should expect that resistance from my people and my prospects when they come to me. So I said, yes, let's do it, Kevin. I knew that he could teach me something. And I believed in myself enough to where it didn't matter if it was $25,000 or $2,500 or $250,000. I was going to do the work and get my money back. I believed in that. And I believed that Kevin was one of the first mentors that I ever paid. He was definitely the first person I ever paid that kind of money to, but I believed that he could help me. And so I spent my last dollar going to join his thing. I didn't have $25,000. He broke it up into 5 payments of $5,000. After I paid him the first $5,000, I was practically broke. It was 2013. I don't even think I had incorporated Hardcore Closer yet. And I was still trying to figure out this whole internet marketing world, post-mortgage world out. I was just trying to find my ground. And Kevin hits me up and he says, hey, for $25,000, you can come out here. I spent my last dime on $5,000 to him. And mind you, I'm still going to owe him $20,000 more. But $5,000 to him. $500 on a plane ticket on Spirit Airlines, which is like $500 and Spirit Airlines, some bullshit. And then I had to spend another $1,000 on a hotel room to be able to stay there for the week. Man, I wish Kevin would have let me crash at his house. It would have saved me a lot of money, but I was broke. When I arrived at Vegas, that was it. And now listen, I'm a debt-free person. And so I don't have credit cards. I do now, but back then, I don't have credit cards, and I don't use my credit cards other than to pay them off every single month. I don't carry a debt. I use Amex for points. That's why I'm going on a trip at the end of this month. Thank you, Amex points. So I use it for things like that, but I've always been a cash person. I don't like debt. I don't like borrowing money from banks and all that other stuff. And so I'm debt-free, so I go out there, and at this time, I don't even have credit cards, or I got a debit card. And so I go out there, and I meet this guy, AJ Roberts. AJ's still a good friend of mine, so is Kevin. And that was actually the first time I'd met Garrett J. White, too. That was like a hell of a room full of people at that time. But AJ Roberts takes me to the side, and he shows me how to run Facebook ads, and he types this stuff in. He uploads a video, puts a link with a call to action, does his thing, and shows me what he does. And then he types in the ad budget, $100 a day. Not like shit myself. Seriously, because I didn't have $100 that day. Like, that was it. If Kevin was providing lunch, which he did, I was eating that shit and starving that night. That was it, right? Unless I could go win big at the casino table or something like that. I'm a terrible gambler, so I was fucked. All right? And so AJ puts in $100 a day, and I'm telling you, man, my heart dropped in my stomach because I'm like, how am I going to pay for this? Facebook's going to kick me off here. I'm never going to be able to get my life back together. But within an hour, maybe 2 hours tops, I remember like it was yesterday, we're at the country club in Anthem, which is Kevin's neighborhood. We're at the Anthem Country Club, and bing, my phone goes off. Bing, bing, bing. It like goes off 4 or 5 times real quick. And I look down at my phone, and I see that I've got 4 or 5 leads that have come through from Woofu. And I'm thinking, oh, hell yeah. And now all I got to do is just get somebody on the phone, and I can talk to them and close them. And so I stepped out of lunch and immediately started calling these leads. And this is before we had automated systems and everything else. This is 2013. It's 4 years ago. And so I got on the call. I ended up getting 22 leads that first day for $100. And by the end of the day, I had made $12,000. I paid for the trip. The next month of Kevin's coaching, the next 2 months if I wanted, of Kevin's coaching, I was able to eat that night, and I literally had that money deposited into my PayPal account, and I had a PayPal debit card at the time that I was like, oh, thank God, this like worked. AJ Roberts, you don't know, and I've told you the story a million times, AJ, if you're watching, but you don't know how much you impacted my life that day, because we've gone on to become one of the greatest Facebook ad masters of my time, right? I mean, last year alone, on my personal dime, I spent $250,000 testing Facebook ads. So that changed my life. But what happened is I didn't take my $12,000, put it in my pocket, and go home. Oh no, I gave $5,000 of it to Kevin because I was going to need that. And then I invested another $5,000 because hell, I was there broke in the first place. If I spend 10 of the $12,000, then I'm still $2,000 richer than I just was 6 hours ago. You dig? Right? So I reinvested the $5,000 over the course of the next month into Facebook ads, and I have continued that process since 2013 to where now, you flash forward to 2017, we're pulling in somewhere, most weeks it's a little bit more, but we're pulling in somewhere around $125,000 per week from a combination of advertising that started with $100 that I didn't have. Now, the reason why I share this story with you is I want you to know that this was 2013, this is 2017, so we're talking 4 years of bankrolling this stuff. But what I want you to understand is, even if you don't have $100, if you've got a master plan, if you've got an idea, if you know the right person, if you just know that it's your time and that what you've got is gonna be magic, man, you've got to take the risk. I didn't have that $100. And if I wouldn't have got those leads, if I didn't take that chance, I wouldn't have got those leads. And if I would have not got those leads, I would have had minus $100 in my bank account and one of those, what are they called, insufficient fund things where they charge you whatever they charge you these days. I don't know, I never had one. But they're probably $100 or some shit like that every time that you have one. So now I'm down 200, but that's not what happened. I took a risk, I doubled down on myself, my confidence went up. I was able to come over here. I was able to close 12 people at $1,000 per sale by the end of the day. And instead of taking that money, cashing it out, and like most people do, and going and buying a Rolex or going and leasing a fancy Lamborghini or whatever the case, I reinvested every single dollar of it and have continued to do so. Even today, I still, if we're doing $125,000 a week, I promise you I'm putting $100 grand a week back into reinvestments between advertisements, payroll, all the things that we got to do as a company. So here's the thing, no matter how big of a bankroll you're getting on, man, it doesn't matter where you start as long as you start. I know people who've started running Facebook ads and Google ads with $25 a day who are now millionaires. Many of them have come through my program. And so the thing is, don't let lack of money keep you from doing something. Invest in the mentor. Just like I made the $25,000 commitment to Kevin when all I had was $5,100 to my name. But I still made that investment. I still made that commitment. And look where I am today. Without that, I wouldn't have Break Free Academy, and I damn sure wouldn't have the tribe and with Hardcore Closer. That stuff stemmed directly from that $25,000 investment and now that lifelong relationship that I have with them. So listen, if you're balling on a budget, if you're broke, it doesn't matter. You can bankroll all the way to the top, but you got to be disciplined enough to not get a Rolex, not go rent a Lambo, not live outside of your means. Look, man, I'm still wearing a $50 Fitbit all these years later, and I can afford whatever the fuck Rolex that I want to. But the thing is, I'm going to continue bankrolling until this is $1 million a week, and you should be on the same path. So share this if you dig it. Share it if this story inspired you, and leave a comment below. I check these comments every day and always reply. Later.